Well, we've got this huge winter storm. It's a late winter storm, albeit almost spring, but still, nonetheless, it's going to have some big impacts here as we move through Wednesday in the form of some snow, blizzard conditions on the northern side of this, even winter storm warnings as far north as the UP of Michigan. On the southern side of this, some severe weather. It could get pretty interesting across parts of Illinois today. The tornado risk going up. Looking at some of the new data, I think that's a concern here. And then that snow lifts off to the north toward Michigan. Again, as we head into the overnight hours into early Thursday morning, and the severe weather pushes east here through Ohio. And it's going to calm down some as we head through the overnight. We're going to look at that severe weather outlook in just a moment, but let's look at all of these watches and warnings that we have out now and advisories. First, the blizzard warnings going here from Kansas. We've got the snow falling right now across parts of Kansas into Nebraska. Blizzard warnings do include Lincoln, north all the way up into Illinois, or I should say Iowa rather, to Sioux City, Fort Dodge. These are blizzard warnings where you could see winds over 40, 50, maybe even close to 60 with some of the gusts, and blizzard warnings as far northeast as Rochester. Further to the north and east, we do have winter storm warnings. Not quite blizzard warnings, but we could see blizzard conditions. That's when you get those reduced visibilities up towards Eau Claire. Someone was telling me the other day, I don't know why. I've always said Eau Claire. It's clearly a mistake. So I apologize for all the Eau Claire folks watching the channel. Further to the north and east, the winter storm warnings continue all the way into the UP of Michigan. Let's talk about the other side of this storm, and that's the windy side and the fire side, although we've talked about the blizzard conditions with the wind. Red flag warnings across Texas, that fire danger increasing. Also here across parts of Missouri, Arkansas, up to St. Louis into Illinois, and southeast parts of Kansas. And then also watch out here into Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, and into the mountains here of Tennessee. There could be some strong winds with dry conditions. Fire is a problem. And heading into this afternoon, severe weather is increasing, at least the risk across parts of Illinois over into Indiana. A concern that I think, based on yesterday's data, I was looking at that. I told you guys, if you were watching, that the way that upper low or the way that low is swinging through with that front, the way the dry line is punching through, to me, it looks like an increased severe risk. And now the tornado risk certainly going up. You've got this hashed area out here across central Illinois, and it's not a zero risk, even as far east as Ohio, down into Kentucky. But clearly you can see where that bullseye is as we head into the evening hour. So if you are in these areas, have a way to stay weather aware. Here's a look at that dry line punching east as we head through the day. Today into the afternoon, you can see your low swirling here across Missouri. There's your front, and you can, as it punches into Illinois, that dry air gets squeezed right up along our front. There's some moisture out ahead of it. So a highly sheared environment too. It's not really super unstable. Dew points aren't really incredibly high, but nonetheless, as this storm moves east, that tornado risk increasing right during the peak heating times of this afternoon and this evening. We'll look at those areas really close up in just a moment as we go through the entire country and take a look at the forecast. All right, long range as we head through Thursday, this low lifts into the northeast, and then colder air moves into the Midwest, into the deep south too, with temperatures dropping here and more rain and snow into the Pacific Northwest. Here's a look at those winds. Again, gusting today at times over 50 to 60, I think, especially across Iowa, Kansas, and then into Missouri as that fire risk increases here across Arkansas and pretty much this entire area out ahead of our front. Up to the northwest of our system, winds gusting over 40 to, I think, at times close to 50, creating blizzard conditions and whiteout conditions with the snow flying. And then our wind maker heads east as we head into tomorrow, especially across parts of Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia. Winds really get gusty here, even into the south, at times close to 40 or even 50. A closer look at the snow. A lot of the snow already falling, so maybe adding some on top of it here across Kansas, north into Nebraska. Some of these areas could see more than 6 inches, close to 8 inches, maybe even more across parts of Iowa, and then further to the north and east. A little bit of snow behind our system across northern parts of Illinois, but the heaviest snow with the first round of snow will be across Wisconsin and into the UP of Michigan. A quick look at the northeast. We'll start here and work our way across the country. Relatively dry through today. maybe a little bit of rain trying to knock on the door as we head into Thursday morning. Just a few showers across western New York, Pennsylvania, marching east, and then here comes the cold air, changing rain to snow across western PA, West Virginia, eastern Ohio, down into West Virginia, and even into the southern Appalachians. The rain moves east through the northeast, and it could transition to a little bit of snow, especially into the Green and White Mountains here and into the mountains of Maine, and then we start to see some drying as we head into Friday. Here's a look at your high temperatures. Quite mild, very spring-like, especially across the mid-Atlantic, with highs climbing back up into the 60s and 70s. Further to the south, this gives us a better look, too, at our storm and how those storms are going to fire up here across Illinois, Missouri, and then really get intense, I think, as we head into the afternoon and evening. Further to the south, relatively dry. I mean, there'll likely be maybe a few showers along this front, but it's not going to be nearly as intense. There could be a few strong storms here across parts of Alabama as we head into the overnight with a few rumbles of thunder. But again, the greatest risk today clearly right here across Illinois, even into parts of Kentucky. As this squall line pushes through, there could be a few supercells. There could be a lot of rotation in these storms, and that would clearly cause a tornado risk. That pushes east as we now head into Thursday. This line weakening as it heads east. Our low is actually going to be losing strength as it moves towards the Great Lakes. A lot of the dynamics moving north into Canada, so your severe risk not nearly as strong across the south. And there's your highs, or at least look at these temperatures. I say highs. It's going to be getting colder in many areas as we head through the day today into Thursday. All right, there's a quick look at the modeled out snow. Just so you know, there will be a little bit of snow into the mountains here of West Virginia, Western Virginia, maybe even down into North Carolina and Tennessee through Thursday and Friday. And if you want to time that out, you can see as we push that out in time, there it is. And it also, there's going to be a little bit of snow again here into the parts of the Northeast, into Pennsylvania, Western New York, even Eastern Ohio. Not a lot, but enough to remind you that it's still March and it can snow in March. There's the warm air surging north all the way into Michigan, but there comes the chilly air behind it as we now head into a Thursday morning with temperatures falling behind the front and the severe risk also going down. Across the Central Plains, low pressure, again, we've talked about the rain and the snow, and we will dry out behind this as we head into Thursday. High temperatures on the way down here in some areas, especially across Oklahoma, Missouri, into Arkansas. So as we wake up Thursday morning, temperatures are dropping back into the 30s. Further to the north, a closer look at that heavier snow. Again, timing it out as we head into the afternoon and evening, it really picks up across parts of Minnesota into Wisconsin. But once we move into the overnight, past midnight, the snow here pretty much done. High temperatures today, maybe in the morning hours for some as temperatures fall. And then tonight dropping back below freezing, well below freezing into these areas with numbers falling into the 20s. Across the southwest, a bit of a break from the active weather. Not much going on here, especially across the Sierra where we've seen winter storm after winter storm. There will be some precipitation moving in towards the weekend, but overall not quite as active. Not the same for the Pacific Northwest, though. We'll look at that in just a second. Here's a look at your high temperatures across the southwest. Further to the northwest, this is a pretty strong low. It looks like it's headed toward British Columbia. Onshore flow bringing rain and snow here into the Cascades. Now, it could be heavy into this area with some heavy snow pushing into Idaho and Montana now as we head into Thursday. That could add up to quite a bit of snow, several inches into feet, especially into the mountains. And then that onshore flow continues here into the Cascades of Oregon and Washington. So heavy rain expected here, more heavy snow on the way. It's not over with high temperatures in this region. Close to these numbers, a front will move through, but with this onshore Pacific flow, your temperatures, they're not going to be changing a whole lot. So don't expect a big drop in numbers as our winter storms move ashore. All right, that's all I got for this video, guys. It's a quick update. Stay weather aware today, again, if you're in parts of the Midwest, and have a way to get warnings when they come out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.